Hello guys, welcome back to Mark Shrimp Tanks. In today's video, it is day 3 of our weekly routine. Right, so today is going to be our feeding day, which is a Saturday for me, but we're also going to be doing some selection as well. Right, so what this means is I'm actually going to go around my tanks, we're going to feed the tanks, and then I'm going to look for shrimp that are roughly about 1 centimetre in size, and we're going to decide there and then if we want to move them onto a grow. Okay, shrimplets, so today's food is coffee. No, today's food is the best food I reckon on the market, or it's equally best as some of the other ones that I use. And this is Vin's Blizzard shrimp food, and yeah, we're going to put some of this food into our tanks. Right, so this is what it is here. This was very expensive food, but I think it was well worth actually buying. Right, so we start putting in our tanks, and let me show you guys the size that I put in. Remember, I only feed my shrimp once a week, so let's get these tabs into our tanks like this, and I'll do all the other ones, and then we're going to look for the little baby shrimp as well, and we're going to decide, like I said, if we need to do some selective pulling of shrimp at the tanks to move them onto breeder tanks. Right, so let me fill the tanks like so. You'll be able to see them in a minute as well, and yeah, and then we'll come over and we'll have a look and see what's in here. Right, give me 5 minutes for them to come out of the food, and then I'll show you the shrimp. Right guys, let's have a look at the tanks. I've given them a good 10 minutes, so let's see how we think we're getting on with our breeding, and we'll also decide if we're going to move any shrimp today. Right, so let's turn the camera around. We're going to start and just look at tanks where there are a lot of baby shrimp, like where we can actually move shrimp from. Right, so here we do have a problem in that there is a lot of shrimp in here. There's just too many. This is meant to be a breeder tank, but you can see here it's also a grow tank because we don't have a grow tank for our crystals yet. But yeah, the babies that are in the tank below are also coming along. They're growing nicely. I would reckon within a few weeks we should be able to remove the majority of these and reset this tank. Right, so that is one for the future. The one next to it is in the exact same boat here, in that there's a lot of shrimp in here that we could move out to a grow tank, but right now we don't have a place for them. Right, and that is what this little bit here is for. Right, so I've actually moved, guys. I did this the other day where there was a little bit of space there, and I thought, let's make enough space for one more tank. You'll see what I mean, look, because there is space there for one tank, but there wasn't before, so I actually had to drain all these tanks and drain these ones and move them out a little bit more so a good tank could sit there, one about maybe 30 centimetres in width. But yeah, that is where the adults will be going once we set up another tank for them. There is quite a lot of babies in this as well. These are my lower grade boas, I would say. These are ones that are technically boa, but I have different plans for growing it like really high quality boa, so yeah, I need to separate my stuff. It doesn't mean that these aren't good shrimp, it just means that they're a slower grade. Like, look at these males, look at that male there, lovely boa there, lovely boa there. These ones are probably higher grade as well, so it's always nice to have a place for your shrimp to grow out. Now these have had babies in here as well. You can see them on the leaves and then the gravel, but a lot of these are tiny, absolutely tiny little things. So yeah, there's no moving out of anything in there yet. It's the same boat as this. This is the actual cull tank for these, and yeah, we talked about this before. The reason I keep these guys is because you will still get good shrimp from these if you keep on breeding them long enough. And they have had babies as well. You can see the odd one in the gravel as well, but none of them are big enough. Let's have a little look up here. No babies from these boa yet. There is loads and loads of blue boat babies in this. They're all everywhere in the back, and they're almost size, actually almost size. I want my shrimp to be at least 1 centimetre, so these ones are probably just big enough. But yeah, let's check some of the other tanks. And here is our red boa. Now unfortunately these are still a little bit on the small side. You can see all them all here. There's loads of them, but they're still on the small side, so this is a no for this tank. Look at all the tiny babies in the gravel. Oh my god, look at them all. There's so many of them. You know, when I look on this camera that I'm looking at here, I actually can't see the shrimp at all. It's only when I go into editing that we can actually see if there's anything. These guys are in the exact same boat in that there is a lot of baby shrimp. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All over the place. Look at these little fellas. Look. Everywhere. But yeah, these are nowhere near big enough. So these are the fish bones. You can see why they get the name fishbone. Look how cool that looks. I try not to put my hand in the way because I notice when I do this it sometimes focuses on my hand instead of the actual shrimp. But you can see where the name comes from. Let's have a little look in here now. I don't have a grow out tank for these, but a lot of these probably could be moved. But this is the tank where we might move some today, because yeah, these are, the majority of these are now big enough for us to move, I think. So yeah, we'll give these a start, I think. Okay, shrimplets, time to change the glasses so I can actually see the shrimp. And let's grab our net here. And while I was looking at these blue bolts down here, I noticed the tank above. Remember I said there wasn't really any young? There's quite a lot of young, actually, that we can move today. So the way I like to do it, guys, is for the top tanks like this, put a towel over my knees, because every single time that you go like this, doing stuff, you probably get drips, right? You don't want to have like soaking wet legs and water on the floor and whatever else, right? So all we do is this. I go into the tank, I give the net a little shake, and I collect the first shrimp, or two like this, right? So there's 2 here, 2 little shrimp, and they will be going into our Boa Galaxy mixed tank, right? So I'll do a couple more just so you can see it again, because there is quite a few in this tank that I didn't see the first time we fed them. First time we put the food in, like this. Now I'm aware I'm getting duckweed with this as well. And the tank upstairs that I put these in is also starting to get duckweed. But hey ho, that is the way it is when you do this. See another one here. And so on and so forth, right? So let me bring you over here so you can actually see a bit as well, a bit closer. Alright, I thought I'd get you just that little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing here. And this was the tank where we said that there probably wasn't very many young, but there is. I've already taken out about 6 or 7 of them. Here's another one here. One about 1 centimetre in size, like this. And this is how we do our selection process. And so I'm saying selection, it is grow out, right? Because I like to give the shrimp a chance to grow. Oh, this one's quite big, but it's needing to go in the grow out tank. I like to give them a chance to grow and for their patterns to become full, right? And with shrimp, specifically like boa, right, it can take a little while for the pattern on the back to shrink enough for it to be classed as a good boa. Right, so for example, let me show you this one here. This is a good one, a good example of why this one is in this tank and not in its high grade tank. Let me see here. This one's actually buried as well. Nice red female. This is a red female. Boa has the boa markings on the face. But look on the back pattern of it, you see it? It's almost more of a fishbone than a boa, right? So that fishbone pattern needs to merge. And it needs to become straighter, so it becomes like a cape and not a fishbone. So this one here, the one at the bottom, is more, the back part of it is more of a boa, but the pattern's quite bad on it, you see it? So it's still a boa, has a nice pattern, but then the middle part of it just looks awful. So this is the selection process that you have to go through when you're choosing your shrimp. So this tank specifically are the ones where the boa patterns are not so good, or they're almost a fishbone and not really a boa. Right, but there's plenty of boas in here. This one here is a good shrimp to show you as well. Look, and this is a female, or is it? Yeah, look, the head size would indicate it's a female. If it turns around, you might be able to see. But its head patterns is pretty poor, but it does have a nice full cape on its back. You see it? So this is why this one's in here. It still has some boa marks in its face, but they're not full. But over time, these will open up. Right, so it's always good to give your shrimp a chance. Always good. Is there any more in here that we can take out today that I can see? I don't think so. Right, let's move to the bottom tank and we'll do the blue bolts as well. Alright guys, so here is the blue bolts. These are, on this camera screen it looks like it's overexposed, but I don't know how to change the overexposure on this, so I might try and do it in post after. But they look much whiter on the camera than they are in real life. But you can see that there's plenty of them in there, and it shouldn't be too hard for us to actually just start netting them out by the dozen. If we can catch as many of them as possible like this and put them straight into the container. So that was about 6 at once. And yeah, we follow the same rules here, as in we do shrimp roughly about 1 centimetre in size. And this might be quite a while for me doing it, so I'll do another pass here like this. Try and get as many as possible. There's like 1 or 2 that's still quite small. Okay guys, let's have a little look at our haul and discuss what we have in our tanks. So yeah, we only managed to take out probably about, God, it's so hard for me to control this today. Other way, Mark, there you go. We only managed to take about 6 or 7 from our boa one here, but remember guys, we didn't think there was going to be anything in there at all. And there was probably about 20, 30 blue bolts, something like that, out of the other tank. Now, I don't think the rest of them are quite big enough yet, so we're a little bit optimistic about removing all these today. These are still quite small. There's nothing in here now that's about 1 centimetre, but if you look at the tank above, up here, we have a nice little production line. The blue bolts going now, so yeah, these guys will soon be going upstairs into a grow-out tank once they're a tiny bit bigger. These ones are only about 1/2 centimetre. I need them to be just a little bit bigger. I'm not very keen on moving them when they are so small. Alright guys, let's get our shrimp into our grow-out tank. So let's start over here. And this is my mixed grow-out tank, so this will have galaxies in it. And boa has lovely green water. I'm not too bothered about green water at all. I actually find that it's very beneficial to shrimp. You get lots and lots of little animals living off it, and eventually this will clear. Right, so don't worry about if you get green water. There's lovely boa down here. I put food in so you can see. Here we go, let's put these in. My little pup has come to see us. Hello Lucy. She thinks I'm talking to her. Let's put these in. And away they go, so they can live in here until they grow up bigger. You probably can't see anything at all. But hey ho, that is my grow-out tank for these. So there's a lot of shrimp in here already that are already good enough to go into my other tanks, like the boas. There's a couple of really nice red boas and stuff. And yeah, you just have to be patient with this kind of stuff and wait. Lucibella, what are you doing here? Let me put in our blue bolts. Now this tank is looking special. Check this out guys. Look at all that lovely floating algae. And I have this in all my tanks now. And this is all thanks to dead shrimp powder. You can actually get this from my friend Shrimp Mania. Many of you will know who that is. It was him that put me onto it in the first place. But look at this algae. Right, and this is all good food for your shrimp. Right, and it provides a breeding ground for all these little micro animals and stuff, and yeah, it's just fantastic. So as I said, I dose my dead shrimp powder once a week, and it's very minimal. But as you can see guys, right, so here's another tank here, look. This is the type of algae you get with it. Up here you see it. And the shrimp eat it. And it keeps your water crystal clear. Apart from that tank over there, don't look at it. So by the way guys, so if you're wondering what this is here with this one, this is where I've dosed too much dead shrimp powder. Right, so let's put our shrimp in. We have about 20 to 30 juvies, as they say, juvie blue bolts. And yeah, they're going to love growing up in here, I think. Look at them all coming out, lovely. Anywho guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and there is my shrimp feeding Saturday and selection. Alright, see you in the next one.